Thank you for joining me today. My name is Ivan Tamba, and I am one of the directors here with the Okra Network, your one-stop platform connecting you to organizations and projects in Africa looking to improve African communities. The Okra Network is a registered nonprofit creating visibility, bringing organizations in African communities together, and promoting sustainable projects. We believe we can do all this through the power of networking. Today, we have Justin from the Tanzania Conservation and Community Empowerment Initiative, a registered NGO located in Simanjiro, Manyara in northern Tanzania. Justin, it's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure joining you today.
All right, awesome. So Justin, could you tell us a little bit about your organization and followed up by yourself, what you do?
Thank you very much for actually this connection and for bringing so many organizations together, trying to find a way for them to be visible in the world and to be their work to be visible. Thank you very much. This is really a great job, and it's a great initiative that I feel like this is the right one, and I would like to congratulate you guys for that. My name is Justine. I'm from Tanzania. I'm from Simanjiro, the village of Perat. And by profession, I do conservation, wildlife conservation. And so I would like to introduce myself, then I will go to the organization. Is that fine? By profession, I do wildlife conservation. I'm interested with wildlife research, human-wildlife conflict mitigation, all those things. And I've been working with a number of organizations, from environmental conservation organization to wildlife research organization. And I've been my interest in my career is something with wildlife and at the same time, the community. So I'm interested with community-based conservation, the kind of conservation that takes into consideration the community surrounding. So that's me in a nutshell. And I would like to introduce to you Tanzania Conservation Initiative. It's a non-profit organization registered in Tanzania, and we are registered to operate Tanzania all over the country. Currently, our projects are based in Simanjiro, and we are actually doing conservation and community empowerment. So it has two themes: conservation and community empowerment. When I talk about conservation, I mean wildlife conservation or nature conservation in general. We do programs ranging from research as well, wildlife research, to look at the most important aspect of wildlife area, to get data about the wildlife in our area and publish them. But also we do tree planting programs and environmental education to the community. And those are the things that we do in conservation. In community empowerment, we are actually interested in supporting the community economically and socially, especially helping them with education program. And way that we think our community feels empowered is actually what we do. We help them in especially training them in financial management, this kind of financing. So that's solution. In a nutshell, that's Tanzania Conservation and Community Empowerment Initiative. And I would like to keep answering any question about myself, about the organization. And if you feel like I might have not answered all the questions the way you want, I'm actually open to answer them. Yes, just in a nutshell.
Tanzania Conservation, you guys focus on two areas, the conservation as well as the community empowerment, right? So in terms of the conservation, I think a lot of times people think of animals. So what are some wildlife conservation projects that you guys have taken under?
Okay, for now we have the so-called human wildlife mitigation program. Human wildlife conflict mitigation program. looking at the ways to mitigate the conflicts between people and wildlife in our area. And what we do here, we have this what we call conflict between human and elephant, and we have the conflicts between human and predators or carnivores. So for carnivores, we are helping the community build this sustainable livestock enclosures, or we call them the bomas, the one that livestock stay in, so that to mitigate the conflict during the night. So we are helping the community to mitigate or to protect their livestock from predators, especially during the night. And we are also giving them awareness on how they can mitigate the conflict during the day by, taking care of their livestock and make sure that they don't take them to those places that expose them to wildlife or to predators. For human elephant conflict, what we do currently, we do not have an active project for that one, especially the intervention. Uh, what we are doing, we are teaching people on how to construct the beehive fence, the hives, to put the hives along their farms to protect elephants from entering their farms. We don't have our own farm or our own intervention right now, but we raise awareness to the community because most of us are specialized in human wildlife conflict issues. So we teach them. Although for this is a bit different from the one that I said or that I mentioned on predators because we are helping build these enclosures. Also, we are doing research, as I've said, and now soon next month we are starting a very good and exciting project of looking at the population distribution of striped hyena. It's a kind of hyena. It's a species, one of four species of hyena that we are going to research on, looking at the population distribution along the Maasai state, the Simanjiro district, and look at the rate of conflicts with people. And then we will publish the data, the results of our work. And we are thankful that we got a small grant from Ruford Foundation that supports this work. And we are going to use the community, and we are going, to talk to the to understand the distribution of this species because it's a very rare species in the area. And we are also going to use the remotely triggered camera traps to get their pictures during the night to see where they actually they are found mostly, or where to look at the frequency of their presence along our study area. So this is a very exciting project that we are going to start next month. Yeah, so that's what we do. What I can say for now is that we have these enclosures or improved enclosures, we say, that we are building, or we are supporting the community to protect their livestock against the predators. And also, we are going to start our research on striped hyena next month. And we are also teaching or raising awareness to the community on how they can mitigate the conflicts with elephants by constructing this beehive fence along their farm. So in terms of conservation, that's what we are up to. But we also do this environmental education program to primary and secondary schools. And this is one of our outreach programs that we've been doing. Give them the education. We go with process, and later on we also have this practical work of planting trees. Uh, this bad land to plant these trees for conservation. That's what we have been up to lately.
I noticed you mentioned hyenas, and when I used to live in Ethiopia, there used to be hyenas. They would come out at nighttime, and they would, whoop whoop whoop, and they roam at
Yes.
nighttime. But they never bothered the community during the day. And while I was there, I never heard of any attacks that occurred. So are you guys having problems with attacks with the hyenas and the people? What's specifically happening with the hyenas?
The hyenas, they actually don't attack people. We have very rare, we have a huge problem of hyena spreading or taking on the livestock from the owners. So in Tanzania, if you have, for instance, you go to most of these protected areas and you have, let's say, uh, let's say a hundred kills or 100 livestock death from predators, and 80% are from hyenas. So it's a huge problem. Although
Mm.
hyenas in Tanzania, there is this belief that people don't really take it into consideration. But hyenas are the most um, problematic animal in the area. They don't kill people, they don't attack people, but they really eat the livestock, especially the small stock, sheep and goat. Yes. So that's a very problem. And what happens is that people do poisoning. People don't actually go to hunt the hyenas when they cause the problems. But what they do, they take on the carcass and they put the poison. So when the hyena come back, they will always come back during the night. They will always roam around during the night. You'll hear, yeah, whoo, 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 yeah, that's them. So when they do that, people put the poison into the carcass. So when they do that, it really brings a very big disturbance into the ecosystem because the hyenas will die, and then you will find that 2 or 3 or 4 generations. I mean, the second animal that will feed on the hyena, that those are vultures, or the third one even that will feed on hyenas, they will all die. So they will cause a problem, a very huge problem, not only to hyenas but also to the entire ecosystem. They will disturb it. So that's a big problem.
Ah, okay. Okay, I get that. So yeah. So the community is tackling the hyena problem through poison, and that's killing not just the hyenas, but the other animals in the community as well, which, like you said, it disturbs the ecosystem. Um, and so when you guys are looking over the research, or when you guys are conducting research, what sort of research are you conducting? What are you looking for?
Okay, so the very first thing, wait, my boy is crying. Alema, Alema. Okay, so what we do, the first thing is we look at the population distribution, and to see where they are mostly distributed across the landscape. And then the second thing is we look at the rate of conflict, so we can identify where really get more problems with hyenas. Animals are nocturnal; they are very active during the night, but not during the day. So they will likely degrade on or eat on that. When we protect this livestock during the night, then we will be tackling this problem because the hyenas will not be poisoned again. So as you have asked your question, the thing is we need to know the population distribution, and then we need to know where the conflict the rate of conflict across the landscape. We need to identify the hotspot of the conflict, and then from there we can decide well where we can focus our intervention.
Okay, and then in regard to elephant, because I know you guys, you mentioned that you guys do not have any active projects with elephants right now. What would be the goal with the elephants? What would you like to see come from that sort of research or that sort of work?
Okay, so we have very huge problem with elephants as well. We are working in the Maasai with the Maasai community. The Maasai community live very close to many of the protected areas. For instance, in Simanjiro, people are living alongside the Simanjiro National Park. It's a huge national park in the area, and then they also live very close to one of the game reserve area. We call it okay, I will mention it later. But the community lives very close, very, very in a in a close proximity to these protected areas. So even during the grazing period, they will graze their livestock very close to these protected areas. It's where actually the problem comes. So during the rain season, or even after the rain season, when nowadays the community is changing, is practicing both livestock and farming. So elephants come out of the park to look for these crops, especially maize and other crops. So when they come out of the park, they will meet these people. They will feed on these farms, and it's a very huge problem, and it's very hard to control them. So our goal is, as we have been doing in Roha. I worked with one organization in Roha some years ago, and we were doing this. Um, Now, providing these beehive fences. So we construct the fence along these farms so that when the elephants come and find the the bees along the farms, they will stop and go back. So that's our plan. So we have two plans here for them. The first thing is to mitigate these conflicts, to protect the farms from elephants. But the second thing is to raise awareness to the community on how they can live with elephants, because elephants have been coming out of the park several times, or most frequently now, and mostly they come close to these people. They come, they come. You'll be riding the motorcycle, or you'll be walking alone during the night to a small distance. You always walk, but nowadays you can walk even a half a kilometer or 2 kilometers, and you meet the elephant. So it's hard for them. It's a new thing for them. So it's hard for them to escape. So we are also going to raise. What we are doing now is raising awareness on how to live with them, how to they should understand the behavior of the elephant, so they know, okay, if I meet the elephant accidentally here, what can I do? What they should do. So that's what we are doing for now. But the plan is to also expand our program by constructing these beehive fences that will help us to protect the farms from this wild animal when they come to feed on their farms. So those are the two main goals. The one we are doing now, but we are looking forward to grow, to expand and to introduce this very important innovation that has been tested in all over the world and has proved to be working. Yeah.
Wow. So the community is dealing with elephants because of the crops that farmers grow. To me, that's amazing because here, when farmers grow crops, sometimes they have issues with the rabbits, sometimes they have issues with
Oh,
deer and birds. So yeah, I couldn't imagine waking up in the morning and turning around and seeing this 2,000 pound animal in my backyard. so
oh
so
yeah.
that's interesting. Do you find any issues with farmers maybe shooting or killing the elephants? Is that an issue?
It's not a big issue because most of them are really afraid of it, so they will run away from them. So we don't really have many cases of elephant dying of being killed by people. And there is the government working on protecting the animals, but what happens is that they don't help people to protect their farms. And when an accident, the incident happens that the elephant has been killed, they will show up in no minute. But when the farmers, for instance, yeah, people have been killed. Some people have been killed by the elephants, and the government, the authority, they don't really take much care. They will come even a day after the incident. But when the elephant is being killed, or when the elephant has been, injured, they will show up in no minutes. So that's what we are trying to, to help the community. So we don't have many incidents of elephant being killed by people, but we have some incidents of people being killed by the elephant.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
I'm picturing in my head, the government rolling up to a farmer's house with this like massive truck to put the elephant in the
Mhm.
truck. That's
They
yeah,
don't do
that's
that. Otherwise, they will chase them away, but not really come and take them away. They will just chase them away with their cars and
Okay.
some bombs, but they don't really shoot them directly.
Well, so what would happen if an elephant were to die? What would happen to the body, to the carcass?
Of the elephant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so the government removes the tusk, the tusk, right? They will
Yeah.
take it and keep them, but the rest of the body will be fed on by other animals like
Yeah.
hyenas, like vultures, Yeah, people, we work with the Maasai community. They don't really eat this bushmeat. They don't consume bushmeat, so it's not a case for them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that was that's half of what you guys do, the wildlife conservation. Now the other half, the community empowerment. So other than wildlife projects within the community, what other community projects do you guys embark?
For now, we have this empowerment programs through climate smart agriculture program, and we have this financial literacy program. So one of our team members, the financial experts guys, they are helping with teaching the women, especially women and youth, on how they can sustainable way. So that's one of the things that we are doing. But also we have one of our team member also is an expert on agriculture, and she is working with women on how to have this climate smart agriculture programs. Whereby what we do now, we are starting this small um, small farms along the homestead. We are working with the community that live in a very dry area, and but some of them have water in their homesteads. So for those who are having who are having water in their homestead, we are helping them to to start and run their small businesses or their small agricultural programs. So for community empowerment, that's what we do. We also helping the community in terms of education. Raise awareness, the importance of education. We're working with the call them the pastoral communities. Education is not a big deal for them. It's not a big priority for them. So, for instance, during the International Women's Day last week, we had a very good event, a very successful event that brought together so many people, uh, whereby we talked about education, we talked about this importance of sending kids to school, and yeah, so we came across this big challenge in the place that we did our event, that they lacked the school. So the kids or the children walk up to 14 kilometers to school every day. So it was a very huge a concern for us. And they
Mhm.
started what we've seen. Well, they told us that they have started a small school, like a nursery school, for their younger kids, not for their old kids, but for their younger kids, so that they can walk up to, let's say, 5, 6 kilometers to school and not 14 again. So they started that one, and the classroom is has stopped 2 years ago after a very huge drought, a very dry season that hit the place. So we've been looking also for partners who can help us to keep support to support this initiative of at least having this one classroom um, uh, that can accommodate at least these younger kids. Not all, but most of them will be. Some of them will be accommodated there. So that's what we do. So we do this climate smart agriculture programs. Then we do these financial literacy programs. We are aiming also to support them financially after, especially those who will be doing well, who will be improving in this training. We can help them to have this small, we call them capital for their business. For those who will perform very well, we send our proposal to some of the organizations, and we are now talking to one of the organizations that have shown the interest to support our program. And yeah, we don't know how far it will go, but yeah, we are looking forward to work. So that's what we are doing. In case you feel like I have not answered your question, then yeah, I can always.
No, that was great. I love multifaceted organizations, and I love when sort of big projects, like for example, like agriculture, um, wildlife, health, and all these things incorporate to community awareness, especially in relations to financial literacy. I think these are all very important areas that really benefit not just your initial community, but the community that each member is going to branch out into. So I give you a lot of credit for that. All right, so let's move over to you a little bit more. What motivated you to create or start to be a part of this organization?
So the very first thing is I grown up in this harsh area, very harsh environment. We we had I had to go to school today, and I would stop going to school tomorrow just to graze our livestock. So I go today, for instance, in a week I would go to school 3 days and not 5 days a week. So that's one of the things. And then I saw people who were doing this community, some organizations. There was one organization that really did great things in our community by then. And then when I was growing up, I said, okay, this is what I want to do in the future. I want to see how I can bring some change in the. So that's one of the things. And I did well in my studies and went to university. And later on, okay, I got a job in Roha. I worked in a wildlife conservation, and I really liked my job. And it reached a point that since then I was really thinking that okay, I need to go back to Simanjiro. I need to go back to my community because what I'm doing here in Manyara, I'm solving the problems that are quite extreme in my place. So I would love to go back to my place sometimes and do this one. So I tried to find a job in those areas, but I didn't find. I didn't get a job. So I thought, okay, what's the best ways of me to help the people? If I get employed somewhere, my salary will not be enough to help people. It will be enough for me and my family. That's all. Or you go to the community and everyone looks at you and say, "Hey, Justin, where have you been? We're missing you here." These are the things we know you will do it best. Those are the things. So from there, I thought, okay, I think it's time for me to go and do something, but I need a platform. I need a platform that I can use to accomplish this dream. So back in 2019, I met one of the directors of a very big organization. It's not working anymore in the area, and I asked him, okay, I want to do what we are doing, what you did, and I don't know how to start, but I really want to do that. So he told me, okay, the first thing is your commitment. If you're committed to do that, you'll do that. So I requested, like, okay, if you can offer me a space for the office, that would be fine. And he said, yes, I will give you for free. So from there, I got the office, physical office, and then I started the registration. So in the first, before that, I started to register. I think back in 2017, I sent all the documents to the authority, the district, and I felt like but I will starve because I need to leave my job then. Then I didn't follow up anymore. So I came back in 2019 and said, "Oh, now I know I should go for this one because it's something that has been." So I from that time 2017 I didn't do it. So I decided to go back to my job. But when I was working, I was like, "Hey, but this is not something that I want to do." You know, I'm learning from these organizations how they run, how they look for funding, how they help the community, and I'm interested. So I want to do this again. Back in 2019, I went back to Simanjiro and start the registration process, and it was all fine. and then yeah, I started going to the community to do what I could. Yeah, so the very first thing is the very first motivation is the problem that I see in my community. The second thing is I wanted to help, but I didn't think my salary would help. I would get a nice job and do that, but I cannot come back and help the community. So I thought, okay, I need a platform to work this one, and then it was fine. So yeah, for me that is it.
And I love how you utilize your network to sort of launch your programs or to launch your nonprofit. And that's something that we want to encourage here at the Okra Network is to be able to utilize the people that we know, the people that we can grow from. So you met someone, that individual offered you an opportunity to utilize their space, and you learn from them. And that's exactly what we want to do here. We want organizations to reach out to one another and say, hey, how can I help you? How can you help me? So that's a very great thing you did. And that kind of shows a testimony to what we're trying to build here at the Okra Network.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
but but all right, so I think we've got a very good understanding of your organization as well as yourself. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I think that with social media, and I've seen most of the updates of the many great things that you're doing in Uganda, yeah, in Tanzania, Sudan, South Sudan, and yeah. So, how could you do that? Are you those the organization you're helping and to connect them to other donors and organizations? Oh, how do you do? How could you do that?
Yeah, so our goal is to, again, our first goal is to create visibility. We want organizations to be seen. We want people to be familiar with who you are, which your organization is. Hey, um, hi. I have a son too. How old is he?
He's he just turned 3 last week, last Sunday on Sunday.
Okay. All right. My son is a year and a half years old.
Oh wow, great!
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations!
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You too. You too.
Thank you.
Um, So yeah, we want to create visibility because we notice one of the biggest problems for a lot of organizations led by Africans is they're not seen very much. You know, everyone knows the big organizations, the big projects, the UN led programs. Um, but for me, I know that there are people who are impacting their own communities and they need to be seen. So that's the first thing, right? And then the second thing
Great,
is we want to be able to help. We want to help these organizations with resources. So whether it's financial, whether it's products, for example, like feminine hygiene, whether it's consultation. So whether we are the ones that are helping consult or we find consultants for you, as well as let's say you're looking for hire, you want to hire someone in your organization or you need volunteers. That is also something that we want to be able to foster. All right. And lastly, sustainable projects. So we want to be able to help you. We want to be able to help support your projects and make sure that they're sustainable, make sure that they're long lasting, make sure that any questions you have regarding to specific projects that we can help either facilitate or we can help provide the answers for. So, you know, and I think a lot of organizations, the first thing they do is they ask about money. And I always say, we cannot promise money. That's something we do not guarantee. Okay. And at the most, if we're running a project, the most we can do is 30%. And the reason why we do 30% is because we don't want organizations to be solely reliant on monetary benefits from us. We'd have no money then, right? um, and then, and within the projects, we also want to make sure that you utilize our network, right? So let's say there's another conservation organization. Let's say that there's a community led organization, an organization working on youth development. If you have questions about the projects that they've done, great. You can utilize them. we're family. We need to be able to utilize one another if we want to grow. And if we can't utilize one another, I think we'll have a lot of shortcomings and we'll hurt ourselves in the long run, because our community, the communities we work in, they don't care how we do it. They just want to know if we can do it, when we will do it, right? So that's honestly the best we can do, right? The best we can do is offer them every resource that we can possible. So, and I don't want us to be too prideful. It's my project. I want to complete it my way. Okay, well, we're not going to help many people if we do it one way. But if we do it one way, we want to make sure that one way is exercised properly, and we've exercised all of our options. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sure. You've answered it, and it's very, very much interesting to suggestions. I like the idea that you guys have in your mind that okay, there are people who are struggling out there and who are doing great things in their community, but they're not seen. And this is a great idea that you guys feel like you want to fill that gap that has been, that you can see. And for us and for me, who is actually one of those struggling and who are doing great things in the community, I really feel like this is the right thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I
What is
mean,
some of the other thing?
one of the big things. Oh, you can breathe, man. Okay. Um, so one of the big things for me is that you have, much like you and other organizations, you're from the community, you're from the continent. And it's not to say that people who are not from the community, or people who are not from the continent, or people who are not Black per se can't do the work. For me, I want to make sure though that we're seen, right? I want to make sure that people realize that we're competent, we're willing, and we're diligent. When you work with other organizations, sometimes, especially coming from America or somewhere in Europe, they're usually led by people who are not from the community. Some of these people don't really care too much about the community. Maybe they're there for about 1 month, 2 months, and they leave, and they don't create a very long lasting relationship with the community. I've seen this happen. And sometimes they do. Okay. But my point though is that someone needs to put the people in the community at the forefront, and I want to be able to help do that. I want people to know Justin. I want people to know all the organizations that I work with, because you guys work very, very, very hard, and you don't get enough credit. So I want to be able to provide that.
Well, that's a great thing and really great thing you're planning to do, you're envisioning to do.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Oh, there he
Say
is.
hi. Say
Hello.
hi.
Hello.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, he's mad. Mommy just left, so he's not very happy.
Okay. Looks
Yeah.
great. Looks cute.
But no, thank you. Yeah, say hi. Say hi. You want to say hi? Okay. All right. All right. Well, Justin, thank you. And again, to all of those who are watching, who pay attention to the work that we do, thank you all for watching. If you're an organization and you haven't yet reached out to us, please reach out to us. And if you're a donor, a sponsor, anyone willing to be able to help all of our missions, please reach out to me. My email and all my contact information, the social media will be posted underneath this in the description. And as for Justin and the Tanzania Conservation and Community Empowerment Initiative, I will post their social media content underneath as well. And hopefully we can all kind of join hands and tackle these problems in our community. So again, like I always say, together we can accomplish anything. Again, my name is Ivan Tamba with the Okra Network, and I had the pleasure of meeting with Justin today. And Justin, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, thank you very much. The interview has been great, and I've been really grateful to learn many things that you guys are doing, and so many plans that you're visioning to accomplish. and they all really mean a lot to those who are struggling out there in the field, whose actions, whose contribution to their communities are not seen. I feel like this is really a great opportunity for us, and for many organizations to learn and and get connected to one another and accomplish. And I agree with you, and I like your saying that yeah, together we can achieve anything. Thank you very much for the interview, and for everyone who has been watching this interview. And I really look forward, on behalf of Tasei, looking forward to to growing together. That's what I really looking forward to. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And everyone, thank you for listening. See you next time.